welcome to the award-winning 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl. Broadcasting you live from Fishbowl Studios here in Bedford, Texas. The 99% Radio Network is proudly sponsored and partnered with the Glenn Lawson Law Injury Attorneys. Accidents happen when you do need an attorney that you have the best that has the best interest in mind. This is our first time doing this, so we just got our sponsor, so excuse me. We're winging it.
We're winging it.
Glenn and his teams have represented injured Texans and clients throughout the United States for more than 15 years. And one important goal is to pursue and get dedicated results for our injured.
So that is somebody you need to call. When you have an accident, that's somebody you need to call. They're always on your side. They're on your Rolodex. Put them there. They will follow you. They will come there. They are somebody that you need on your side. Their number is 512-883-5612. Glenn Larson. The Wolfpack.
Wolfpack. Yeah, those guys are out in Vegas. They're going to be probably joining Lori Montoya as well at a big seminar out there. So we may hear from Glenn a little later on in the show. But we are proud to partner with those guys, and they do so much for the community. That whole team is just dedicated to our veterans, our first responders, and community-based law firm. It's not like a law firm that just ambulance chases. It's a law firm that's out in the community, boots on the ground, and supporting the cause.
They get skilled attorneys that are there for your needs. They know the demand for the accident. They know the motorcycle community. They know the accidents that happen. They know how to deal with this, and they have your back. They have your six.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, I'm Sideshow and his Pitbull. Welcome.
Welcome.
How's your week so far, man? We had a busy week.
I'm still trying to digest the whole weekend. I need coffee still.
Oh, my God. We were out.
Busy.
I was out in Conroe, Texas with the Thin Blue Line Foundation out at the Ice House doing their 15th annual fajita and barbecue. And it was an amazing event.
It looked amazing. It looked really busy and really big, too.
Oh, my God.
There was a lot of vendors.
There was a lot of vendors, a couple of thousand people coming and going throughout the day. They had beautiful weather. And, all the money raised, nobody in the Thin Blue Line Foundation takes a paycheck. So all the money raised goes directly to our first responders who are injured or killed in the line of duty. And they're there to help the families. Mm-hmm. So it was really heartwarming. It was brotherhood, sisterhood. It was great, man.
How was your gut after eating all that chili?
I didn't eat. No, there wasn't a lot of chili. It was barbecue. It was barbecue. It was fajita, and the biggest thing, man. You know who won?
No.
Tell me. Friggin' fire department, man. Go figure. The fire department won on.
I kind of like this.
Yeah.
That was kind of the Thin Blue Line throws the chili off, and the fire department comes out with the win.
But it was. Everybody had a great time. It was all about the fun, and it was all about our first responders, and that's what the Thin Blue Line does each and every day, man. Those guys work 40, 50 hours a week, and then they start doing their mission. So this is all volunteer. It's all just giving back to the community. So I want to thank those guys. You, on the other hand, couldn't be with me in Conroe, but you had two events this weekend.
I did. So Saturday night, we were at the Young Marines Gala and Fundraiser. So the Young Marines, it's kind of like, and I don't want to put them in the same category as like the ROTC, but it's the young
Marines.
Marines.
Yeah.
Our kids that are like, high school, actually middle school, even elementary, I think, that can join this, and they have their annual gala. The reason why they were raising money is because they want to send their Young Marines to Pearl Harbor next year.
Wow.
It's about $50,000 to take them to Pearl Harbor next year. So the money raised was for that.
But think of it that the experience those young Marines will get being able to visit that.
It was beautiful. They had tables all set up. It was like fancy. They had the nice decorated tables, and every little placement had sand from the Young Marines that went about 2 years ago to Iwo Jima, and they got sand from the beach, and they brought it, and that was the place setting at each place setting at that event. I'm like,
I was watching your TikToks and some of your video from that gala, and it's just so heartwarming that because these are our World War II vets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, John Graves. There was a bunch of people there.
There's not many of them left, and they have a story to tell. Mm-hmm. And we as supporters of our veterans, we have to listen. We have to,
You should listen.
Yeah, we should listen.
You're not going to get stories like that from the word of mouth.
But that's why we're here today. That's why they give us the reason that we can talk freely on the radio and do what we do because of our veterans. They fought for our freedoms. They fought for our rights. They died. They got injured. They still are battling post-traumatic stress and medical issues from different chemicals they were exposed to. So God bless our veterans for everything they do.
So that was Saturday, and then on Monday, excuse me, we were down at the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo for Salute Veterans.
Yeah, I saw you snuggling up between two Fort Worth police officers.
Well, you know, sucker for a man in uniform. But,
I thought you would be going for the cowboy thing.
Hey, any man with a hat or uniform. Can I take a picture?
There you go.
But no, that was a really cool event. I mean, there was tons of vendors. I mean, it was all the resources for vendors that they need, or for veterans that they needed. It wasn't like showcasing necessarily like, here's what the veterans do. It was, here's resources and here's veteran business owned resources for them. There was, not only the Betties were there, Indian Motorcycle was there. Obviously a couple of VFWs, there was tons of stuff. It was one of the biggest things that I've ever done as giving back, you know, and being there and seeing the big people that give back as well in one building. It was pretty impactful. I wish, Well, speaking about giving back, because that was an amazing gal. You guys, I saw you walk around and you looked fantastic, by the way. You really did. You really did. No, but you were faking it well because you did look fantastic. Even the Battling Betties the night on the gala, you guys looked authentic. You guys looked like you were having a great time. God bless the Battling Betties of North Texas for what you do. Speaking about giving backs, we have a person who came into our studio who made the promise to us last week. Yes, he did.
On bringing some pairs of socks for our veterans, right? And donating these socks to our veterans. We're going to introduce you to him right after these messages from Glenn Lawson Law Firm. Stay tuned.
The reason why I made the decision to found and open Glenn Larson Law is for one simple reason. Every single client deserves to have their voice heard, their recovery made, and most of all, the closure and the compensation that they deserve. It has been my personal mission and personal dedication to making sure that every single thing we do with every ounce of loyalty, honor, certainty, and absolute unity to make sure that our client's story is told every single time. This is why I founded Glenn Larson Law.
Me and Glenn go way back. We first met in middle school. We were in high school together. We also worked together in college, waiting tables our first couple of years of school. And so we worked in the service industry together for a few years. So that kind of kept our tight bond together.
At Glenn Larson Law Injury Attorneys, we are passionate about serving our clients by honoring their stories, their voices, and their recovery. Our firm is built on the foundational principles of honor, certainty, passion, unity, and loyalty. To achieve our vision, we uphold our loyalty to our clients, each other, ourselves, our families, and our clients' families and friends
In every single thing that we do.
We are dedicated to providing exceptional support and guidance, ensuring that every client's journey is respected and valued.
With absolute certainty, we stand ready. Call us. We are here to serve you in your time of injury, to make sure that you receive the compensation, the closure, and most of all, that your story is told.
Not yet. Not yet. Oh, no, just straight it back into Yep. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Hey, welcome back to the award-winning 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl. Man, that was Glenn Lawson Law Injury Attorneys.
The Wolf Pack.
The Wolf Pack. And talk about giving back, last week we had a call-in from Cutter from Invictus. Is it LEMC? LEMC. Victus LEMC, who, said, I got 200 pairs of socks I need to donate to a veteran organization. He called Pitbull, and he was like, you guys got it. I want to bring these to you. And here you are today. Welcome, Cutter.
Yep, appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for showing up, man.
Hey, anytime we're doing anything to help out the veterans, homeless veterans, the senior veterans, especially senior veterans, those guys are out there. There's not many, like you said, there's not many of them out there that are left from World War II. We're starting to lose the fine lines for the Korean War vets.
Yeah.
So, anything we can do to make their life a little bit easier, since they fought to make our life a little bit easier. So.
Yeah. So some of the socks, let me keeping your feet in good condition at
It's
any
important,
age is very important to your overall health.
It is.
So, Invictus,
which we're learning now. We didn't know that back then.
Invictus partners with Bomba, so every year Bomba gives us a call and says, how much do you need? What do you need? And we tell them, hey, we want like 3,000 pairs of socks, 2,000 pairs of underwear, and they all get shipped into us, and then we disperse them out to whatever organizations needs them the most. So
That's awesome.
And that's Bomba.
and remember,
Let's
Bomba's the one that
Bomba.
for every pair of socks you buy, they donate a pair of socks. So we get in good with them, so that way we can take care of
love
veterans
that.
and homeless.
I don't think people realize the most important thing you can donate, I think, is socks.
yes.
I mean, keeping their feet warm is all about the health too. As soon as your feet get cold, you get sick, and that creates other problems. So having warm pairs of socks and fresh pairs of socks,
Yep.
that's important. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Cutter.
No problem at all.
And Invictus has always been a big part of the 99% Radio Network family. I got Lori Montoya calling on my cell phone. Hold on one second. Let me find out what she wants. Hello?
You're on air. Don't
You're
say
on
anything
air.
bad.
Just give me a call and let me know when your technical issues are fixed. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So we will
All right.
figure it out. Lori will be on when Lori
All right,
can
you
be
got it.
on. This girl travels all over the place, and she is
Yeah.
busy in everything that she does. And man, I don't know how she does it. Vegas, Florida, Colorado. I mean, she's constantly
She's
going.
always going, and she's always taken, last week she couldn't come on because she was at the hospital with a down biker's family. And she spent the night with that family, consoling them, giving them the resources that they need. Because, whenever you're in a motorcycle accident, it's your family that suffers more than you do, because you're being treated by the doctors and your family sitting out in a waiting room. They don't know the questions to ask. They don't know.
Yeah, and you're not in the right state of mind
Right.
sometimes to be able to give legit answers. So having somebody there that has your back and has done this, I hate saying this, a lot of times, knows how to handle and guide you through that situation. Biker Down is definitely somebody you need to get a hold of to guide you through those traumatic and stressful situations.
Yeah, and that's the same with when we talked about Glenn Lawson law. You want to be able, before you say any words, before you make any statements, you want to call Glenn,
Yes.
talk to a consultant, talk to somebody on his staff to make sure that you are getting the rights that you deserve, and
you
you're
can
being
contact-
protected, and
yeah.
you're being protected in every way.
And you can contact them online or the phone number I gave earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, they're easy to get a hold of, and just tell them your situation. They'll help you guide it through.
Hell yeah. So back to Invictus real quick. You do these things every year?
Every year. Our big works that we don't do like a lot of clubs. They do all these fundraisers, come up with a lot of money. Invictus is more about our time. So we give to the CPS, Child and Family Services, homeless veterans. We've got a couple of guys that go and feed the homeless in downtown Fort Worth every Sunday. Then we also do what we got coming up is the Teddy Bears for Tears.
What is that?
Every March we kick off Teddy Bears for Tears. It's about a month-long drive to collect teddy bears that we then disperse to the police departments, the fire departments, and Child Protective Services. Anytime there's an emergency or a tragedy or something that happens, the cops and the firefighters will pull the teddy bears out of their trucks and give it to the kids. It's just one bit of happiness and hope that you can give a child during a bad time in their life. So we try to get those in. And last year we had 400 donated. we're going to try to beat that again this year. So.
Well, we'll try to help getting some of those donations up as well. That sounds almost like our Spokes for Hope partners. Spokes for Hope, Paul Gregory and Alton Melton. No, Alton Wells. Sorry, Alton Melton's with Hunting with Heroes. Alton.
Potato.
Spokes for Hope does the same thing. They give out the bicycles to the law enforcement officers to bridge the gap between the law enforcement and the community. And if a cop sees a kid in need of a bicycle, they go to Spokes for Hope, and Spokes for Hope donates that bicycle. This is what it's all about. This is what the 99% Radio Network's all about. It's giving back. And if you could see, I don't know if you could see this plethora of greeting cards, these Valentine's Day cards that are on our desk. I want to thank Spring Garden Elementary teachers and students. Shannon Evans, my stepdaughter, had her class and the teachers over in Bedford, Texas, make these out. And Fishbowl's been doing this for the longest time, been sending out thousands and thousands of Valentine's Day cards to our troops overseas who cannot be with their families. So, this is what the show is all about, inspiring people to, stop watching TV, man. Do something good in your community. Be a part of the positive aspect of humanity.
Well, even when you're watching TV, you can color in some cards.
Oh yeah,
You can do
yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah, you
happen.
could have like a wine drinking party and just color in some cards.
You can be productive.
That's right. Yeah, I saw you making those cookies that day.
We
You
had
were very
wine to make
productive.
cookies. It can happen.
You can get it done, but you get it done. You make it fun,
No
right?
excuse.
Yeah, there's definitely no excuses. So now where were these are going to go
We
to?
were going to use those. We were going to dispense those to the homeless. That is going to be, which actually we're going to get the 99 involved, the Uplift 6 again, getting it back to the homeless, making sure that they're comfortable, and the veterans, they're out there and know that we have their 6.
Yeah, Uplift 6 is a good program.
Yes.
And now, how
we've
can
done that
somebody be
before
part of
together.
Uplift 6? How can somebody?
Uplift 6 is
Uplift
one of
6,
theirs.
Once we get it posted, we are getting the dates. We're working with the church that we want to work with, and we're getting the dates. So once we get that done, I will put an Amazon wish list, which is basically like the needs. Socks, underwear, tampons for women. I mean, sometimes you don't think about the things that they need.
Yeah.
Anything hygiene.
Hygiene stuff. It's not always about, sleeping bags are great, but I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of sleeping bags that get donated.
Yep.
A lot of times these sleeping bags, they have them. It's about the details and the small things that they need. Toothbrush,
Yeah.
toothpaste.
I used to work for a hotel.
Contacts, like eye drops, anything.
I used to work for a hotel here in Dallas, and the GM at the hotel used to give me boxes because what does a hotel have a lot of?
Shampoo,
Toothbrushes,
conditioner.
shampoo,
Right.
conditioners, little
Little
bottles.
sample bottles,
The
those
little
are
sample
perfect.
bottles are perfect. So if you have a hotel or a motel in your area, go ask them to donate a little box of toothbrushes or the conditioners or even those little things of toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
It will make a world of difference, and it's easy for someone who is homeless to
They
carry
can
it
carry
around.
it with them instead of
Yep.
They don't want the big bottles of
No,
stuff. It's hard for
no.
them to do that. So little
Yeah.
sample stuff is great. Individual wipes, things that they can just pack into a small bag.
Yep.
We're just trying to get them by. We're trying to get them to get to the next step.
Well, a lot of those guys live day by day.
That's
You
right.
know, you've seen it out on Lancaster Avenue. I was out there a couple of times, and it's heartbreaking to see. And the shelters, even though that gives them a roof over their head. If you ever see somebody with the shopping carts and all their stuff, that's everything they own, right? They are not allowed to bring 1 ounce of anything they own into the shelters, right? So if
That's a lot of times why
they
don't
can't.
go in the shelter.
They don't go in the shelter because they can't leave. That's all their belongings get. Because if they leave it outside, it's going to be stolen.
Yep.
Right.
Instantly.
It's like-
Helping the homeless is something near and dear to me. 'Cause when I was younger, 17, 18 years old, I was actually on the street on Lancaster for about
Really?
2 years.
Wow.
So
Now, once again, we always say this: every family is 1 or 2 paychecks from being homeless ourselves, right? So it can happen to anybody. It's not drug addicts and mental issued people out there. There are people like that, but you know what? There are families that are living out there. There are kids that are living in their cars because they can't afford to pay rent or they can't afford the bills. And like yourself, man, how hard was it to come out of that?
it took months of taking the effort to go to the day labor spot, get a day labor job. I spent months mucking out the stalls at Will Rogers Memorial just to earn enough money to where I can go from the downstairs main room to getting a small room upstairs, and then from there saving up enough money and time to get my own apartment and then get myself back out. But it's, it took me about 9 months, 10 months to actually get from downstairs to upstairs, and then another 6 months to get out.
Now, being homeless out on the street, if somebody came up to you and said, here's a pair of socks, here's 2 pairs of socks, what does that mean to you?
It's very emotional. I mean, it's something you don't have, and hey, the nights out there are cold, so just one more
Even
thing.
here in Texas, yeah.
One more thing, you put it on your hands, keep your hands warm. Put it around your neck, keep your neck warm. Put it on your feet, keep your feet from freezing over.
Yeah.
Every little thing.
So you know.
Yeah.
So you know, man. And, that's why we have to make sure that no one goes hungry, nobody goes cold, nobody freezes to death. And, we want, if we could, we try to put roofs over people's heads,
Definitely.
So
Every little bit counts.
every little bit counts.
And I think when we start collecting more of this stuff, we're going to put it on our website and the drop-off times and stuff that you guys can bring stuff to the studio that we can collect all that as well.
Yeah, this is wonderful. We're going to support you, and we're going to give a big shout out to Bombay's.
Bombas, yeah.
Bombas.
Bombas.
Bombay's socks. Now, if somebody wants to be a part of this, maybe make a difference, give back, how can they contact you, or can they contact Invictus to be part of these programs?
They can reach out to me, and I can pass them on to whoever needs to go to. But you can reach me at cutter.invictus.lemc@gmail.com.
Okay. We'll put that up on our page.
And then for anybody who wants to donate a teddy bear, you bring it up here to the Fishbowl Network, up here to the 99%, and they'll take care of it for you.
And we'll get it
if
to
you're
them.
out on the west side, there's the Joe's Crab Shack on Western Center and
Yes.
35W. Go in there, tell them you want to donate a teddy bear. If you get an entree, they'll give you a free appetizer, or even give you a free appetizer card for the next time you come in.
That's
So they're
awesome.
helping people out as well. So.
Joe's Crab Shack?
Yeah,
Crab
Joe's
Shack.
Crab Shack.
Wow.
One of the guys
Okay.
in Invictus is part of, So
Wow, that's good to know. That's
Yeah.
good to know. Probably a lot of these restaurants do this, and we don't know about it.
we need to know about it.
need to
You
know
ought
about
to
it. If you ha-
contact us and let us know.
Yeah, if you have a business that has a
Pays it forward.
has a customer turnover, and you're doing something like accepting teddy bears and helping out the community, please let us know, because we want to highlight you. We want to make sure that what you're doing is noticed and recognized for helping the community. That's a huge thing.
There's a place that I go to, one of my pizza joints, and I'm going to use them. I'm not going to say their name yet until I get the thing. There are places, and what they do is if you host an event or have a charity, they will match your donations to 20%.
Wow.
There are places that do that. And so you just got to ask around if you want to throw a charity. A lot of times these businesses want to give back just as much. Don't be intimidated because they're a big box name.
Yeah.
Right.
Ask them.
Yeah, a lot of
And if you're a member of one of those restaurants and you want to help participate in the Teddy Bears for Tears, send me an email. I'll be happy to drop off a
Yes.
box. And anything anybody can do to help. I mean, it's all just for the kids and making sure that they have something in their
Do you
time
have
of
a
needs.
deadline, or is this something that's like going to go on year
It
round?
normally goes through until about April 15th, and then that's when we collect them, count them, and then we decide this how many are going to go here, how many are going to go here.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, we want to definitely help be a part of that.
Appreciate
And like Cutter said, you can drop them off here any Wednesday between 3 and 5. Come on up to Fishbowl Studio. We'd be happy to take those and get them over to Cutter for you. And you're in a store, you're in a Dollar General. Pick up a stuffed animal for $1 or $2, man. You ch-
$1.25.
Yeah, $1.25, man. You change for that $1.25. You are putting a smile on some kid's face somewhere in the Texas area.
And if you got donations you don't know what to do with, just message us. We'll find a place for them to go. So don't
Yeah.
feel like you have to find we'll find the organization for you if you need to.
Yep.
Just if you have donations, clothes, kitchen goods, anything, contact us. We'll find the place for it to go.
Yeah. Well, Cutter, I want to thank you and everybody from Invictus
Appreciate
for
it.
doing what you do, and I want to thank Bombas Socks for the donation, and keep them coming, because you guys are doing wonderful things with this. It's really making a difference in a lot of the people's lives here in Texas and around the country, because some of these can be sent to veterans that are overseas as well. So, Cutter, thank you.
No problem.
Appreciate
Again,
it, brother.
thanks for letting me
Appreciate it.
come
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when the rubber meets the road, we are going to bring in our next guest. Stay tuned right after this.
Hey, Jim. How are you?
Oh, in my day, what the young Marines were called?
Huh.
Devil pups.
Oh.
But some people got upset because they were called devils.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, is it going up?
Thank you so much.
Got one for him too.
Awesome. We do?
I brought some libations.
Bring them up.
Oh, thank you so much.
Bring them up.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you.
So I'm sad I gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
These are some of our
I was in an accident 12 months ago to the day. I was driving on southbound Santa Fe, and somebody did a suicide left in front of me, and I T-boned him at 45 miles an hour. From that point forward, I don't remember anything for the next 18 days because I was in a coma.
She broke 9 bones, lacerated my spleen, put me in the hospital for 21 days. I remember none of it.
Biker Down was founded in 2011 after riding several rides over the summer and seeing tragically my friends get injured. And I felt that there was a need missing in Denver and in Colorado for an organization that helped the biker community. As you may know, the bikers are one of the most charitable entities out there, and what we do is provide them a variety of services such as medical equipment, financial assistance if necessary, and a plethora of resources to help them stay afloat during the hardest time in their life, which is their recovery. My biggest hope is that I'll never get another phone call that a biker's gone down, but that's not realistic. So I think my true realistic dream is that we can help as many as we can help, because it is life-changing for them. Certainly donating and volunteering your time, and even if you can't do that, attend our events. Attend our event and get a $20 t-shirt for your $20. Those kind of things make a big difference in a small nonprofit like ours.
Too fast. Hudson.
It's in English, although I'm a Cajun.
Hey, welcome back to the 99% Radio Network here in the Fishbowl. Man, we just had a great interview with Cutter of Invictus, who donated 200 pairs of socks for the, what is it? Is
Uplift
the
6.
Uplift 6. Man, and that's going to go to our homeless. Want to give a quick shout out to Jessica, Mindy, Tara, Tigger, Deborah Johnson, Massimo, who's
all
calling.
my girls are on there.
All your girls are on. And Massimo from Italy and some of the rest. I'm watching this scroll in. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Share this, like this, spread the word, because it's all about making a difference. I want to introduce our guest. It's going to be Jim Hodgson.
Right.
Oh, I said it right. I
you
said
go.
it right.
There you go.
He's the executive director of Hops and Props for the Fort Worth Aviation Museum. Welcome, Jim.
Right, thank you. Glad to be here today.
I got to attend. She introduced me
I
last
absolutely
year.
love Hops and Props. I'm not gonna lie. I got introduced to Hops and Props about 2 years ago, so this is gonna be my 3rd year as a battling buddy going to Hops and Props. And one of my other girls told me about this, and I'm like, hey, because she knows I like craft beer. And she's
Okay.
like, do you know there is
She knows you like alcohol.
craft beer?
We're just craft beer.
Well, let's just clarify that. But I mean, she goes, hey, there's a vintage airplanes and beer thing that we can get a part of. And I'm going, well, tell me about it. And she tells me it's Hops and Props. It's at the Fort Worth Aviation Museum. They have all the old warbirds, and you get to go to all your favorite breweries amongst all the old warbirds. I mean, it is so like nostalgic and like it's so cool. And let me tell you, I am so excited about the whole beer flight thing.
Yeah.
I have never heard, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a craft beer nerd.
Okay.
I used to have a whole page about reviewing beers and stuff like that. And nowhere else have I seen where you can actually take a beer flight,
A real beer flight.
a real beer flight. You are going in the air in an old warbird, and you are sampling craft beers in a flight. I mean, that
There
is
you go.
the ultimate beer flight.
There you go.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. It's a lot of fun. People really enjoy that. But I have to correct you about something.
Oh, shoot.
We have 36 warbirds now,
Yeah?
and the most recent one is a Hornet that was flown into us two months ago. So we don't have all old airplanes. We've got some that just retired.
Wow.
Yeah, we've got new stuff, old stuff.
You know,
it's amazing. My kid absolutely loved it.
my grandkids went last year. I bought them, and they were just all over those medic ambulances playing inside
Oh
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
The military village. Yeah,
Yeah, because you can actually go in, hands on, touch the stuff, try
Don't
on
move it,
stuff.
but you can touch
yeah,
it.
yeah. But I mean, you could actually there were displays there that are authentic that you can go into.
Well, we're going to open up more cockpits this year, so you'll be able to get in more airplanes. We're going to have more flight simulators than
More
we've had
photo
before.
ops.
Oh, more photo ops. We're going to be bringing in more food, and we're going to have more live music. So
Nice.
this is our 10th one. This is our 10th
I know, this
anniversary.
is a big one, 10th year.
So we're going to kind of blow this one out a little bit.
Heck yeah, and you should, because this is an amazing thing. I think more people need to know about this. I mean, I have to say, like I said before, this is one of the best beer festivals I have ever been to.
Well, and we don't do a gala. A lot of museums do galas as their primary fundraiser. We prefer to have fun.
You do a
So
party.
we do a party, and so we have a craft beer festival it's family friendly. That's the whole idea.
Absolutely
This is a family
family-friendly.
event. Bring your dogs, bring your animals.
Yep.
Yeah, just bring a good attitude.
Yes, bring a good attitude.
Yeah.
Enjoy. I mean, every time we've gone there, I mean, it's a little windy, but I mean, that's just where the location
Yeah.
is. You're going to expect a little bit of wind, but the weather has always been really nice.
Yep.
I mean, gorgeous weather. I mean, you get out there and so it's basically like there's one spot where all the beer vendors are. And how many breweries do you think you have this year?
We don't know yet this year. Right now, we've got
But
about
last year there was
8,
like-
but we're still looking for between 16 and 18.
Yes.
That's usually what we have. It's 16 to 18 brewers.
And it's all the popular and favorite breweries that I know
It's
in
local.
the DFW.
Yeah.
It's
I
local.
mean,
We keep
the ones
it-
I go to the store, they're there.
We
Yeah,
keep it
yeah,
local.
yeah.
You're not going to find any of the big beers. You're not going to find Budweiser or
No,
Miller or any
no,
of those. This
we're
is
not doing
all
that.
this is all local stuff.
In fact,
Yeah.
that's how I found one of my favorite places is called Three Wide Brewery. They were
Yeah,
there last
right,
year.
sure.
And I was talking to them. They were talking about their brewery, and they used to be a different brewery beforehand. I think it was like the Rabbit Hole. But they moved
Rabbit
to,
Hole, right,
yes,
yeah.
and now they're a Three Wide Brewery, and they're near the Speedway. And we actually had him, one of the managers, on the show a couple weeks after that. I love the beer. I go there constantly, have really good pizza, but that's how you get to see and you get to taste all these different beers, and you want to go, well, I want to go to their place, because
Right.
every brewery has like a great atmosphere. They have either food, music going on, and you get to get all that experience at the Hops and Props because they're all there to showcase their beers.
Well,
Right.
And we have people vote on the beers. We have
Yes.
a contest. They vote on the beers, and they get a People's Choice Award. So it's not, it's not some kind of a promotional thing. It's what
It's not,
what
yeah.
the people have tried throughout the day and what they really like.
So people come in, they get, what is it? How much is it for the wristband?
The wristbands are if you wait until the last minute.
If you wait
we
till the
have
last minute.
we have early bird pricing
And that
right
just
now.
opened.
Early
Yeah,
bird
right-
pricing.
early
Just
bird
opened
pricing
up.
right now is $20.
Yeah, Warbird pricing.
Yeah,
Warbird pricing.
Yeah, so it goes up later on, but you get the wristband and then you get a small taster, 4-ounce taster, and then you can sample as many of them as you like.
many as you want. So $20. I'm not gonna lie. And there's veteran discounts, I think, right? Or
The veteran discounts will be $20. That will stay that way all the way through, but we'll go to discount pricing next month, and then they'll be at the door the day of the event.
Perfect.
So we'll have we're anticipating 10 or more food trucks and those kinds of food activities. We're going to have probably 3 bands this year.
oh, I love it.
So
I
it's
love
going to
it.
be a lot more this year.
I'm so excited about
And
the
then you had the
hopscotch.
reenactments, right? You have the
we,
groups.
we invite all of the reenactors in, and then we park some of the airplanes across the road, and so we put up kind of like a little veterans village, and then they wander through the crowds and everything else. We have the battling Betties with us, so it's just a fun day for everybody.
It is. You get engulfed in the history of it all because,
You know,
like,
last year, me and you.
that was
got
his
on-
first time going.
Was my
I was like,
first
"You
time.
have to
Yeah, it was my
go."
first time there. She said we have to go. So when we got there, and we were doing some interviews. We talked to 3 Wide. We talked to all the vendors, right? But then we went to the reenactment area, and we met those guys were wonderful, man. And they were knowledgeable.
The 45th
Oh, yeah.
historians.
Yeah, they were so knowledgeable on everything about World War II. And then we said, let's get into the Jeep.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
did.
and the Jeeps look a lot bigger on TV. I'll tell you right now,
It's not
man.
like Jeeps today.
My God, we got into that.
2 6-foot people getting in a Jeep.
We got into that Jeep. I was like, holy crap! How do they do this? You know. Then my granddaughter jumped on my lap. My grandson jumped on my lap. I'm like, there is no room in here. You know. But it really, once you get into one of these authentic Jeeps, you realize like what our men who served went through. I mean, it was,
Well, even
you
the
know.
reenactors, they will gladly tell you about like everything that they like, what those soldiers did during that time. Like
Yeah.
I did a video or posted a video, like even the magazines that they were given, the hair gel that they were given. There's
Yep.
a booth that shows like the music and the records or whatever.
No, they study it. They study
Yeah,
it. They want to be
I
very
mean, it
authentic
is
about it.
They're
on
very knowledgeable
point.
on it.
The Jeep that we had was built here in Dallas in 1943. A lot of people don't know that, but over at Fair Park, Ford built Willys Jeeps there. They built 43,000 Jeeps in Dallas for the Second World War effort.
And see, once
I'm a Jeep girl. Love
well,
it.
yeah, you got a Jeep. You know, just you know, maybe we could do a World War II Jeep run one day, man. That would be so cool. But you know, this is right in our backyard,
Yes.
the Fort Worth Aviation Museum, and that's what this is all about. This because you guys don't get government funded, do you?
No, not at all.
No, it's everything's on like grants and you got to apply for money to keep this running so the public stays up to date and educated. But I went onto your website and you do more than just hops and props. You
yeah.
have events all year long.
Yes.
You run school trips. You run educational things all day long. Tell us a little bit about the Aviation Museum itself.
Well, we're there to talk about aviation history in North Texas, which goes back 114 years now. You know, so the first powered flight took place here in 1911, and so since then, aviation has grown and grown to the point where in the 1940s, when we started building airplanes here, aviation has taken over as the economic driver and has changed North Texas from a farm and ranch community into one of the leading aerospace centers in the world. We've built over 70,000 airplanes here. The impact is almost $4 trillion over that period of time. And so almost everything you touch here in the North Texas area has something to do with aviation. 20% of everybody who's employed here is employed in some aviation-related
You know, my
endeavor.
they really you say that
Yeah.
because my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, right, both worked for American Airlines.
Okay.
My father-in-law actually worked for Delta, but my mother-in-law came down here when American Airlines transferred their hub from LaGuardia
Right.
to Dallas. And you know, when me and my wife were looking for a place to live, we had visited Texas and we came down here and we found that anybody you meet, you're going to hear, you know, anybody of that era, you're going to say, where did you used to work? Well, I used to work for American Airlines. I was a ticket, or I was a baggage, or I was a stewardess, or I was a pilot. They're all over the place.
Or it's Bell Helicopter.
Bell
or it was
Helicopter, yep.
Consolidated, or it was General Dynamics. We had a gentleman come in one day, and one of our exhibits is a bunch of model airplanes that were built over in the Fort Worth factory. And he pointed one, he says, well, that one brought my family here. And he pointed the next one. He said, that one put me through college, and this one put me through law school. So even though he wasn't involved in aviation, that's what aviation did for him. And it's done that for a lot of people. So we want to educate the community about the rich aviation history here and how it's changed lives and changed the world. And mostly we are there to inspire kids. Our primary customer is 6 to 12. We want to light that spark in kids to give them the incentive to want to stay in school and get the maximum benefit out of their lives that they can. So that's what we talk about it being inspiration, education, and
Excuse me, keep going,
preservation.
Lori's back on the phone.
So we take the preservation of the airplanes and the artifacts and the rest of those things
Right.
is what we do, and use those to be able to teach and inspire.
And I brought my son, he's 9 now.
Okay.
And I brought him the past 2 years
Okay.
to the Hops and Props. And I'm not going to lie, that is his favorite thing. I mean, running around and seeing all the planes and then asking questions. My husband actually was in the 82nd Airborne.
Was he really?
He
Okay.
used to jump out of planes and all
Yeah.
that. So having him explain, like, well, that's not the one I jump out of, but that was one that I did. So it's really interesting. And there's a lot of kids at the Fort Worth or at the Hops and Props. And I saw your video the other day that you went around and showed all, like, you called them touchable aircrafts.
Well, we refer to the museum as the most touchable warbirds
Yes.
in Texas. Because you go to most museums and
They don't
the
want you to touch
airplanes are
anything.
behind velvet ropes and that kind of thing, or they're flyable airplanes and you can't touch them.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the most touchable airplanes because you can touch every one of them that's there.
Yes.
We ask you not to climb, but you can touch, you can hug.
You got
you
the
can,
spray bottle down for the kids. Like, get down!
It's like, well, you know, I'll tell you, it's funny because my grandkids they wanted to jump in.
I know.
They wanted,
Unfortunately, they hung around with my
yeah,
kid.
yeah,
who's a
yeah,
bad
yeah.
influence.
They want, but
so.
you know, but they really did learn a lot, and this puts any child, I mean, under the age of 16, just in awe because I mean, you also have the Blue Angels, one of the planes from
we
the Blue
do.
Angels
We
in there.
do. We have a Blue Angel.
Speaking about the kids, I saw a magazine. I don't remember the name.
Okay.
That is on your website.
Right.
And it gives scholarships to children, and it does some stuff.
Well, we've got a magazine that we put out, and it's called the Texas Aviation STEM magazine.
STEM
It's the only magazine like it in the world. It's designed for parents and educators to be able to use it in classrooms, and we are able to publish it because of a grant that we've gotten from the Fash Foundation in Fort Worth. And
Yeah, I looked at some of those magazines, and it was just phenomenal.
It is.
Full
It is. The
of
work that's
information.
out there and the things that we're putting out and the resources that we have for people to either use at home or classrooms. We sponsor 2 Civil Air Patrol units. Use the museum. The Young Marines come out and field
I
day
love
the
those
area
days.
before the event. So we try to stay as involved as we can and collaborate with as many different groups as we can to present all kinds of different programming.
Well, you can see that when the vendors come out. They're all
Yeah.
like basically
Yes.
all of your supporters that come out
Yes.
there and show up for the event as well. I mean,
I couldn't believe how packed it was last year
Mm-hmm.
when I went. And it was just, I mean, everybody was in such a great mood. But I mean, the vendors, the people, just and you had this.
and they
it was amazing.
You got a lot of people out there sampling beers. I mean, they came prepared.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
came prepared.
Well, we actually ran out of beer
Well, I wasn't
and
gonna say
food
that,
last
but
year, but it
we
was
stayed
towards
a
the end
little
of the
late.
day. So we're making plans to have more of everything this year.
Yes. I mean, I think this is one of those events that it's going to get bigger and bigger each year.
Oh, it has.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I mean,
it has.
You know what's funny? We were talking to last week. We were talking to our new partner, our new sponsor,
Mm-hmm.
Glenn Lawson with Glenn Lawson Law Injury Attorneys, and when he heard of Hops and
He
Props,
wants to come
he
too.
kind of he kind of lit up because that's his passion, aviation. He loves everything about it, and so we're gonna try to get
We
Glenn
accept
involved.
sponsors.
Yeah,
We couldn't make it happen without our sponsors.
We're gonna try to
Same
get him in
here.
there with it too, man.
Yeah.
So
well,
Well,
I
you
happen
gotta
to-
come out and do a remote.
We are going
we're
to
going
completely set up that
Okay.
day.
Yes.
We're going to do a live feed that day. We're going to set up a booth. I talked to Mindy about maybe locations that we could maybe set up
Sure.
at, and we're going to do a live feed like while we're there, and maybe get some interviews.
Just
while
make sure
we're
I
there
have
as
electric.
well.
I just need electric. That's
That's
it.
easy. Electric's easy.
As long as I got
I'm gonna be
electric,
out
we
there
can
on a
do it.
bicycle,
Yeah.
like putting power to
I don't
the
think
speaker.
we have to do that, but I think we can make electric happen for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to be out there, and we're going to be doing our thing. The Battling Betties will be out there, but we're going to be interviewing throughout the day, going there. We'll also have our booth set up where people can come, and we're going to just cover the whole event.
That's great.
From the event.
That's great.
You
Our-
touched on another thing
Yeah,
before.
sure,
I didn't
go
mean to
ahead.
cut you off.
No.
But another thing that's so important that we forget about is the Civil Air Patrol.
Yes.
You know, people don't understand how important the Civil Air Patrol is, especially here in Texas.
Right.
You know, explain to our viewers what that's all about.
Well, I'm not a spokesman for them,
Right.
but we have them with us. They are actually a part of the Air Force, but they are a youth education program. So I'm not certain what their bottom line, bottom age is, but they work with youth and teach them skills regarding aviation, involved with aviation. They also become involved with actual search and rescue. Remember when the Challenger incident took place, the Civil Air Patrol was out and was help looking for things from that. So they do actual work as first responders in many cases. And but in the meantime, the young people who are involved in it are learning about leadership skills. They're learning about aviation skills. And so, as I learned with my own son years ago, boys want to be part of a gang. Kids want to be part of a gang. As a parent, it's your job to make sure they get into a good gang.
Right.
And the Civil Air Patrol is one of those organizations that we highly support because of what it does to the kids.
Yeah, it keeps them off the street. It puts them on a good path, man. It puts, when you look at the way the world is, and and as single parents, right? As single parents or parents that have latchkey kids that maybe are working 2 jobs and they just don't know where to put their kids, and you don't want to stick them with a babysitter. You don't want to, this is a good thing for them to be engulfed in because it's good mentorship.
Yes.
They're going to be following a good path, and it may put them and lead them to a career path later on in life.
Right. And not every kid is an athlete or wants to do those kinds of things. And so Civil Air Patrol is it's an excellent avenue for an awful lot of kids. Some go into the JROTC programs, but Civil Air Patrol is something completely separate from that. So
yeah. All right, so let's get to before we got to bring Lori on. We got to the main reason you're here looks like she's going through withdrawals.
Well, I see empty glasses for beer to be in.
Yes.
And so
well, let's check this out. We're going to do a little sample.
We got some
sampling.
I'm going to grab a couple here.
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
sure. You brought some libations.
these are beers that are going to or have been.
They have been.
We don't know the list just yet, but these have been past breweries that have been to the Hops and Props.
But we know that we will have between 65 and 75 brews.
No, I'm sure. I'm going to tell you, if you're a craft beer nerd like I am, I mean, this is like heaven for me.
Well, you get an
I'm going to educate you on your pour, and that is fine. I will let this slide.
You just here, give him the glass, and I'll take the can.
Oh. All right.
Angela.
Wow.
So this is Local Buzz. I've heard about Local Buzz.
You'll take a can?
Okay.
Can you get? Oh, you'll take a can?
Which can? Which you want?
Right.
You want that one, or you want
He's
the
drinking
Manhattan?
a Local Buzz.
Give me one of those. I'll take one of each can so I can show them.
Well, I'm leaving all this stuff for you.
No. Now this is Redgate. It's a craft beer, and that is
Local Buzz.
Local Buzz. What red?
Are we on the Redgate right now? Are we on the Local Buzz?
Redgate.
Well, it's
is,
from Manhattan Project. Manhattan
Yeah,
Project
out
Beer
of Dallas,
Company.
Texas. Amber beer. If you don't know the difference between beers, amber's like a mid-red beer. If you don't know if you like stouty beers or darker beers, but you kind of like a pilsner, a red one's a good to go to after.
I'm glad you're an aficionado.
I can educate you on this.
I always am confused with like a lager and what we were talking about craft beers. We were talking about
Well, they're all craft beers, but
They're all
there's so many
craft.
different kinds. And a
Right.
lager's kind of your standard beer, I think. If
Lager or your pilsner. Your pilsner is
Yeah.
going to be your standard beer, like your
Pilsner's
your
a little
ultras and
lighter.
stuff
It's
like
a little
that.
lighter than the
That's
lager.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. It's light.
Manhattan was with us for the first time last
That's a
year.
good beer.
And I know IPAs are very popular. Personally, I'm not an IPA
I was
person.
an
They're-
IPA one.
They're too biting for me. But
you
a
know how
lager is a
Indian-
good beer when it's cold. On a summer day, it'll go with everything, and it's kind of an
Yes.
all-day beer.
You know
Yeah.
how Indian Pale Ale got
Yes.
their name?
Yes, I do. Do
So,
you?
I do.
Okay.
So back in the day when they used to have to travel, now I'm not going to get all the like technical educational
Okay.
lingo about it, but I remember that it was transporting the beer across a certain amount of miles. And the
Okay.
only way to get the beer not to spoil is you have to put a bunch of hops in there. Because the hop is antibacterial and everything will keep the grime out of it. So
Right. Okay.
they pack more hops into the beer the farther they travel. And they were traveling to India. And so the farther they got, the hoppier it got, and they got to India. It became the Indian Pale Ale.
Well,
IPA.
it was the British in India.
Boom.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I asked you something about what happened at the White House the other day. You had no
I had
clue.
no
You had
idea.
no clue. Talk about an IPA. You're giving me
got
the
I'm gonna tell you who
history.
stole it from where and when.
You're giving me the history of the IPA. God bless you.
That's why I'm here.
No, but thank you for that, because I am definitely not educated at all on IPAs or anything about the
Got your
craft beer
hops,
life.
barley, and your hops, barley, and malt.
Right.
So a lot of beers will be higher in malt, which I think is more the lagers and ales.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't get into them as much because I feel like they're heavier.
See, Brian Horn, who's on. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Do you know how Black and Tan came about?
Yeah.
School us. I mean, because how did Black and Tan?
Guinness.
Well, do you know how it
It's
came
a
about?
Guinness and
Yep, Guinness. And
oh my gosh, no.
Guinness and what else, Brian? Come on.
You floated on the Guinness. So,
Floated
yeah.
on the you do float on a Guinness. And I have to say, a
or you
Guinness is not as heavy as people think.
I love
People
Guinness.
think I
But
love Guinness.
it's
too.
a little bit of an acquired taste.
It is. And you just gotta be
It will
open-minded.
also melt spoons.
It's good for heartburn.
Yeah.
See, I like Guinness. See, I like Guinness in the tap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see Guinness in a can.
Well, the
I'm just
can,
not-
they're just letting you take
I
it
know,
home. But
I know.
You're not gonna quite get
I'm
it.
more about Guinness off the tap, and it's.
But this is what's great about the Hops and Props, because they're going to have all these craft beers that you don't normally see at your bars and pubs and stuff. Because, they're, to get them canned, a lot of times they're not even canned yet.
Right.
And so to get them in those restaurants is hard. So
Well,
you only have to go to those.
And it becomes difficult for the
Distributor.
distributors and things like that. So,
Right.
a lot of people will go in, and if you can find it at some local place, it's like, well, do I really want 6 cans of that? Do I want to buy
Right.
12
I just
cans of
want a
that?
sample.
So you just want the sample. So what we found that people are really enjoying too are the meads and the seltzers and
Those are
and
very
some of those.
popular.
Now
now.
you can purchase these at Hops and Props.
No, you cannot.
Can't. Oh,
We
so
can't-
you'd have
we
to go to
can't
People are
their.
just sampling them at the
Just
Hops
We're
and
just
Props.
sampling them. Yeah, we can't. In fact, we can't even. The breweries can't even donate the beer. It's a TABC rule.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
it's strictly
gotcha.
So we
their-
have to purchase the beer, and so that's why we look for sponsorships that help us put on the
Help
entire
us
event.
pay for the beer, y'all.
Hold on, we got some education
Oh.
coming in. Brian Horn. Okay, during World War II, the Nazis came to Ireland, and their uniforms were black and tan. So it was the mixture of the German beer and the Irish beer.
Ah, okay.
Oh.
Thank you,
I
Brian.
was
I
not
appreciate that,
far
man.
off. I said Guinness and something else.
Well, it's usually it usually is Guinness
No,
and
well,
something
no,
else.
and not
But
talking
no,
about the
that-
beer. He's
but
talking.
that's
You're
the
right.
history part of like why
Yeah.
Black and Tan came.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is why we drink.
Beer is a lot of part of history. If you think about history, beer is involved there somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, it goes way back. It
It
was one
does.
of the easier things to make. One of the 2 oldest professions.
Very true.
Right.
Very true. And, respected in a way. I mean, like the craftsmanship that it goes down to every flavor that these breweries put out. I mean, not only do you have the distinctive, the Pilsners and the stouts and the porters, each porter has a flavor, each
Right.
stout has a flavor. I mean, there is a craftsmanship to all of that.
And you know what I like about it too? It's grassroots.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
individualized. It's not usually big corporation
No.
money. It's 5 guys from their basement made
Yes.
this beer, and it came out great, and they're like, well, let's market it and let's
Yep.
so it's
Got something
support
good?
it's supporting those local down to earth grassroots people that are really making a fantastic product, and this local buzz. This is really good.
There's passion in every one of these cans.
Absolutely. And then when you go to Hops and Props, you are supporting the Fort Worth Aviation Museum,
Right.
right? And so all those tickets and proceeds are helping you guys continue
Absolutely.
to do what you're doing.
It allows us to, for instance, we mentioned government help. We don't get any government help except that they loan us the airplanes. Most of the airplanes we have are on loan. So we are required to have them available to the public at least 1,000 hours a year. Plus, we have to maintain them. And anybody who's been outside here in Texas for any period of time knows that the sun and the weather beats on you.
Right.
So every 5 or 6 years, we have to do a rehab on the airplanes. And we have to raise the funds to paint an airplane. For instance, our Blue Angel is going through that process right now. It's going to cost us $8,000 to $10,000 to complete that process.
Wow.
And so there isn't any Blue Angel fund. The government doesn't give us money for that,
Right.
so we have to do things to raise funds to be able to
Funds for it.
maintain.
And
the
this
airplanes.
this is one of the things.
This is one of them.
You know, Brian's bringing up another thing, Rock of Vodka. You know, Rock of Vodka is not one of these big corporate vodkas. I know Motorcycle Mayhem, you know, sponsors them and promotes them a lot. And, you know, we've tried it. I tried it on the High Seas Rally. Rock
I'm
of
sure
Vodka.
you did try
I
some
did,
vodka
man.
on the High Seas
It
Rally.
is a very, very good vodka. Too bad we got to get them here in Texas
And we
because
got to get back on the cruise.
yeah, we got. But Rock of Vodka, another. You know, you want to support these grassroots companies, man, because these are the mom and pop shops that really take pride in their product. You know, and like you said, man, they're not going to give you a bad product because they know one bad product out of their off their bar can hurt them.
Well, the museums do something else too, and that's provide a sense of community for a lot of people. You know, you'll find here that 25 years ago, 65-70% of the population didn't live here. So they don't know the history of the area. They don't know how things came to be here. So we're one of those organizations, like most museums, that help build the fabric of the community to give everybody a sense of community and belonging and neighborhood and all the rest of that.
Yes, I've definitely noticed that when I've gone the past 2 years. It's only been 2 years, but this is your 10th year
Yes.
doing this.
Yeah.
But the past 2 years I've gone, I mean, you go there, everybody knows everybody. Even if you don't really know them, you know everybody when
Oh,
you
and
get
people
there.
have their spots in our beer garden area.
Yes.
People have their spots. We have
Beer
families
garden.
who come.
Ah, beer garden.
We
You
have
know, it's already blossoming in a beer garden.
Everything blossoms in a beer garden.
Everything blossoms in a beer garden.
So we have people who have their place in the beer garden that they stake out every year, and that's their spot.
Yep. I mean,
You know, considering that 10 years ago, we had 268 guests. That's all we had. Last year we had just close to 3,000. This year we're hoping that we break 3,500. So
absolutely.
let's even go. Let's break 5,000
Let's
this year.
do
Let's
it.
break
I'd love
five.
that.
Let's break 5,000. What are the dates for Hops and Props?
one date.
One date.
April
One
20.
day.
April 26th. We start to pour beer at noon, and the taps are cut off at 5.
Yes.
So it's a one day deal. Rain or shine, we use Northwest rules. So if it rains, you're just going to get wet while you drink. So
Hey, and you know what? When you're there, you don't really care.
That's right.
No.
You
Now, say there's people out there that say, I want to be a part of this. How could I volunteer? How could I help? Or how could I become a vendor? Or
the easiest thing is just send us an email, and that's just info@FTW, like Fort Worth, ftwaviation.com. So it's just info@ftwaviation.com. That'll get to the staff, and if you're a vendor, if you're a veteran support organization, because we give free space to veteran support organizations to set up and be able to talk to the community about what it is that they do. Whether you want to be a volunteer, that's where they're going to get most of the information. We do have a Facebook page that's Hops and Props, and you can go there and
That's
get on our
awesome.
lists, and we'll be happy to have you come out.
So you said
Fantastic.
info@fortworthaviation. What?
info@ftwaviation.com.
.com.
All right. You want to stay with us for a little bit? We're going to bring on Lori Montoya from Vegas.
Sure, I
and,
can do that.
And
Hey,
she,
got more beers over there.
yeah,
He
we
ain't
got some more
going
beer. He ain't going nowhere. Let's. Is Lori? She's already up and ready to go. All right. So we're going to take. We're going to give Lori her opening, and live from Las Vegas, Biker Downs, Lori Montoya.
I feel like a showgirl. You gotta
Showgirl.
Vegas.
Oh, you.
What?
Is it coasters?
Patches,
It's a
coaches,
patch.
Patches,
use it
coaches.
for anything you
You put
want.
the patch on, then you can like Velcro it on.
Wow.
And that's our Texas Viper pin.
Wow. Thank you so much. I don't know if the cameras are still on, but yeah, baby.
Well,
There you go.
I think they are. Because I always run to the bathroom and I think the camera's off and everybody knows that I run to the bathroom. Apparently.
We appreciate the comment.
Thank you so much. I can't wait.
take them with me?
Just go right into Lori Montoya. Hey, welcome back. Lori Montoya with Bike It Down live from Las Vegas.
Am I live?
Your intro's going.
I see myself.
You're sideways.
Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Biker Down's Biker Chat. I've been in Vegas for the past few months, and I am so happy to be here at the AIM Expo, which is a power sports exhibition of all the new products that are new in the industry. And all the dealers come from all over the country and the world, and what they do is they try to, get their products into the dealership. But it's really a great place where you can find innovative products. You guys know that.
Rotate your phone, Lori. Rotate your phone. You're sideways.
I can't hear you.
You're sideways. Rotate your phone. You're sideways.
Oh, I'm sideways. Oh. You don't like me sideways? Uh-oh, PK, you gotta help me. I'm sideways.
I don't know if you're on your phone or what kind of camera you're using, but rotate it.
Uh-oh.
Of course it won't.
I don't know. I think we're SOL. Is that work?
Is she back? She's straight?
She's still there.
She's straight.
Am I straight?
Yep,
Yeah,
you're straight. You're straight.
Okay.
All
All right. So with that being said, what we are, where I'm at right now is I found Alex from Break Free. So we're going, there we go, right there. Oh, perfect. And so what we're going to do is we're going to have a little conversation with Alex about the Break Free product. You guys know how much I believe in this product and what it's done to change my life and how I ride. I just got my own first full face helmet. So Alex, welcome to my little biker chat here at AIM Expo. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved in doing the breakthrough.
For sure. Like, as I mentioned just before we started this, it's not a really short story. I don't have a really concise one.
Except that he was on Shark Tank.
Except I was on Shark Tank. No big deal. So I started, I studied entrepreneurship and business management in San Jose State. When I graduated, I wanted to get my hands dirty and actually try and do something entrepreneurial because that sounded so amazing, and everybody in the Bay Area where I grew up was doing something, starting an app, doing something entrepreneurial. So I got the bug too, and I asked my professor after I graduated to get me into an internship with an entrepreneur so I can see what it's like. And she delivered. She got me with a entrepreneur who's been doing it for 40 years at that point. He's probably around 70 years old when we started, and I was working on a whole bunch of projects for him. And one of the projects was this light bar idea that he conceived for cars. So the idea was he almost got rear-ended on the freeway, and he thought that if he had another light on the car, when he slams on the brakes, it does something different from the brake lights that would grab the driver's attention, and hopefully it ends up with no accident. So my job was to do the market research and figure out if it's a good fit for the market and whether or not people will buy it, what the issues are, all this kind of stuff. And it's all new to me, so I'm just like drinking from a fire hose and just taking in all this information.
So you invented that?
I invented that with a lot of help from a lot of people, so I can't take full credit for it, but it finally is.
So tell us what the technology is. How does it read when you stop or when you're turning?
For sure. So the way that it works, and then that's the secret sauce of this product, is we're using sensors that are built into the product itself. So the sensors are built in here, so there's no apps, there's no wiring required. So if you can stick a sticker onto a helmet, you can install this very easily.
Well, you're going to have to prove that to me because PK sized me. I went through a professional sizing of a full face helmet. That was actually quite an experience, and I will tell anybody, don't just go into a place and put a helmet on and go. Because really I learned there's so much involved in sizing yourself for a helmet, and you end up paying a little bit. I paid a little bit more, but my point is that all of this has escalated me from meaning this and now getting the full face to really feeling like I'm truly a lot safer on the road. So these have sensors. So I'm going to ask you and PK, because I brought my helmet sizing expert here today, and we're going to ask him to get my helmet, and we're going to show you guys just how easy it is to put on. So what's the battery shelf life time? So if you start out on a ride that morning, how long should it last?
On the website, we claim 8 to 12 hours, but in reality, it can be way longer. We've had guys do iron butts on a single charge, so that's 20 hours of riding.
Yeah.
24 hours.
Okay, so tell me how you got on Shark Tank.
How did I get on Shark Tank?
Because we all want to know how we got on Shark Tank.
It was actually a friend of mine who went to CES, another convention that comes to Vegas every year, Consumer Electronics Show.
Yeah.
And they had open audition for Shark Tank, so there's a huge line, so she applied, and when she got back, she was like, yeah, you should apply too. And I was like, I should. And then she's like, yeah, just go to an open casting call somewhere, wherever. They have them all over the country. There's a couple of ways to get on Shark Tank. You can apply online, they can reach out to you, or you can go to an open casting
call. So it's
call.
kind of like the America's Got Talent person that just drove their friend, and then the friend that drove tries out, and they win America's Got Talent.
So yeah, I drove all the way to Lincoln, Nebraska, because that happened to be the closest one to me, and I did my pitch, and I thought that would be the end of it. But 2 weeks later, they reached out. They wanted, additional information. They wanted me to move on to that next step and submit a 10-minute video talking about the company, where we're at.
Did you get an offer?
We did.
And who'd you get an offer from? Drum roll.
Mark Cuban and Robert Hershevik.
I love Robert.
Yes. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, the deal fell apart because the pandemic started and they backed out. So I went from being up here to way down here.
But you know what? You still got a tremendous amount of experience. And,
absolutely.
Considering this was your first product, I mean, you literally have created a product that can save lives. And, we were a little late getting on. It was totally my fault. But we had a little time to talk.
Yeah.
We all get into some things for a reason. I got into helping injured motorcycle riders because I watched motorcycle riders go down, and I watched what they go through. And here I am 15 years later doing 10 different types of things than I ever thought I was going to do when I first started. And you are literally potentially saving someone's life because someone can be seen now. And I know that may sound a little over the top, but you guys were bringing up a great idea. PK brought up a great idea. When you're driving that car, and say that biker is a little bit closer than they should be, maybe there should be more room, but their taillight is underneath your line of sight. So having this light on your helmet, and now you've got to hit your brakes, could literally be the difference between making it home to your family and not making it home. So what do they retail for?
We sell these things for $159.99 on the website.
But if you go to my Biker Down affiliate program, they're what, 10% off? Is that about what it is? You're gonna, you might give me $12.50, $15 after we've talked now, because deals can be made. I could be a shark. I could be a shark. I can wheel and deal you. All right. Well, what I'm going to do now is, first of all, we are so grateful for all the donations to enable me to be able to pass them out to other people and to get more of these on the road. I'm going to bear with us. I'm going to grab my hand. We're going to let PK come in here, and he's going to grab the mic, and we're going to show you guys just how easy. And ladies, if you ride, I didn't think I could put this on, but I watched my husband do it, so anybody can put these on. So with that being said, okay, PK, you are in here. Make sure that you guys can see each other. So that's how the box comes, really simple. You let me know if I need to move it.
Okay. No, I think we're good. Okay.
So PK, introduce yourself.
How you doing? I'm PK Hanley, or they call me Roadblock. I'm the president of Matters Motorcycle Awareness and Training for Traffic and Rider Safety out here in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm also an accident scene management instructor. They call me instructor, I guess it is.
You're the big dog.
Anyhow, we're all about trying to save lives and let people enjoy the beauty of riding motorcycles, and the best way to do that is to be able to come home safely. And anything that we can do to make sure people come home safely is what we're about. And this is an absolute brilliant idea. I love these things. My niece, my family, she put one on and kind of showed her uncle up because I have a brake system on my bike and it's great and everybody can see it. But when I'm not on my bike, I don't have a brake system. This goes with you everywhere you go. You can't get any better than that.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay, so explain to us a little bit how you do this.
So we have an install video on our website, so it's very detailed, but you get a little template you could use to install, so you can cut this guy out and just stick it on where you think it might go on the helmet if you need it. I don't. There's a quick start guide, lots of pictures, no text, so that's how you do it and how the basic use of the products. Then the next thing that we've got in here is the unit itself, and then a whole pouch of accessories. So this comes with 2 mounts. They're different sizes to make sure that once you open the box, you can install it on the helmet. So some helmets, like this one, has a bit of a lip right here. So in the past, we've used the XL mount for this guy, just so that it has enough clearance. And so this is what you get inside. You get an alcohol wipe, a charging cable, and then these 2 mounts. So I recommend using whichever one fits best. I know that on the Sedici Strata.
This, for everyone who didn't see the video yet, this is the brand new Strata 3 Carbon that you can pick up at Cycle Gear, which I happen to work there.
There you go.
But it was graphite. It was lighter for me. I really, for the price, it's something that I will be able to ride long term and not get that neck thing. So I love my helmet.
So we'll plop this guy in here. We'll clean up the helmet to clean off any kind of debris or oils or anything else that's going to prevent it from sticking perfectly onto the helmet. Just going to wipe it down real quick.
I'm originally from Southern California, but LA County, the part on that was maybe
wipe this guy off. All right, cool. And now I would recommend not peeling it off until you can kind of know where it's going to go. So,
he's the expert, so he already knows.
And on this helmet, there's a center line right here, so you can kind of already tell that it needs to go right here. And then you press down. For just a second, press down. Pop this guy off. Just put some more pressure on it for about 30 seconds or so.
I love how it just popped right on.
Yep, it's a nice audible click, and then there you are.
Bam! And I am ready to go. So now when I stop, it's going to sense that, and then it'll light up.
Yep. Anytime you slow down, you put a brake light. So it's using those sensors to detect anytime you're slowing down, so it'll pick up engine braking, not just when you're hitting the brakes. Anytime you're slowing down, and this will work on anything that you're riding. It can work on a snowmobile or an electric bike or a scooter, whatever you're riding, you can take this with you. We sell mounts separately so you can attach them to all your helmets so you don't have to buy the expensive piece. But get more mounts, stick them on all your helmets. If you have a passenger, put it on your passenger's helmet.
So what's your website?
It's breakfreetech.com. It's right here. I don't know if you can read all that, but it's breakfreetech.com.
And we'll definitely post it on the 99% Radio Network. And PK, I really want to thank you. I hope you guys can hear me. I really want to thank you for really spending time with me and sizing the helmet to make sure that it was something that I needed. And I can't put it into words. You're Colorado-based, and we're going to rock it in Colorado and let everybody nationwide know about this. So with that being said, on behalf of Biker Down, we are peace out. We want everybody to ride safe and get your brake free.
Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. We're gonna bring you back in the studio.
Lori,
don't leave yet.
I want to.
Yeah.
I want to know if they can attach that to the bald head behind the people that don't wear helmets.
I'm sorry. If you can put it in the bulkhead behind the what?
I was just joking. If a guy can, if they can stick it to their bald head.
Can you stick it up to the bald head?
Yes, I bet you could.
I don't know. We'll test that out for next week. It's a pretty good adhesive.
Will that fit? Will that fit on a half shell?
Would it fit on a half shell? Absolutely.
Anything that has that down to the back of the skull,
Yeah.
to the spine.
Yeah.
So there's really no excuse not to have this light on any one of your helmets. I mean, here in Texas we don't have a helmet law, but most guys wear a half shell. There is no reason for you not to have this helmet light on.
Well, I will tell you that we're going to post for you guys my affiliate page. We get a little bit of a discount thanks to Alex and Break Free. But everybody, this is a perfect Valentine's Day present for the person that you love that's thrown a leg over a bike. And just do me a favor, ride safe. We're going to be bringing PK probably to Dallas for an accident team management class soon. And just God bless you guys all. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you both so
I appreciate
much.
it, Lori. Thank you, guys. Man, that's an amazing. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
No worries.
Have fun. Man, that was Lori Montoya from Biker Down out in Vegas. You know, she had the break free helmet. You know, this is a helmet that if you watch that, why wouldn't you have this on your person? You dress for the slide, not the ride. Well, you can out there and put that light on.
It seems like it's kind of like a no-brainer. Like you attach it to your helmet. You don't have to think about it. It's just there doing the work for you, basically. So
Yeah.
why not put that on the back?
Well, you know,
because it is hard to. I
Right.
mean, unless you got loud pipes save lives, and that does happen because you go behind. You get next to a car and you're whoa, 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 to let them know you're there. Because a lot of times these cars don't know you're there.
But unless you're riding like a dresser, right? Where you have multiple lights on your bags,
Yeah.
right? Most bikes, a Sportster,
Well,
you got that little
in
one light.
In the fashion part of a bike is all blacked out right now.
Yeah,
And so you're all blacked out, and we all like to wear a lot of black.
Yep. So this is a perfect night riding
Well, I'm gonna say this is
accessory.
perfect for. I think this is perfect for the chick that's riding on the bike with the man.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he likes his persona, he likes his vibe, he likes the way he rides, but yet you're getting on the back of it. You be safe.
Yeah.
You put that on the back of your helmet because you're behind them. Now you're blocking whatever colors and things that they are representing that they think helps them in
Right.
traffic. But now you're blocking all that. But yet you have that helmet that's flashing and telling everybody behind you because you are. Because once I'm behind the bike, I am blocking everything that shows anything that
Pretty
my
much,
man
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
And having that and flashing, I'm not gonna lie.
Yep.
How many times we're on that bike and people are on their phone and they get right on your ass,
Or you hear the
dude.
screeching tires behind you, man, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's the worst feeling because you're like, man, this is not going to be good.
Right,
I
and we
hope
don't.
he stops.
I mean, we have blinkers on the bike, but it's a little tiny thing at the bottom part of the bike tire. A lot of times, the people behind us aren't seeing that. So if you have it raised up, and
Yep.
it's on your
It's
helmet.
in the eye line of the driver.
on
It's
the
in the eye
eye
line of
line.
the
Being
driver.
seen.
It's all
Yeah.
about being
Being
seen.
seen.
You know, you were just
Yeah.
telling me, Jim, that you were in a cycle accident years back.
Long time
You know,
ago, yeah.
A long time ago. Driver error, your error, both. Little.
We're gonna blame it on the
I'm
other driver.
still not sure.
Well, we're gonna blame it on the other one.
Still not sure to
I
this
can't
day.
imagine.
Somebody lost their oil pan. I got in the oil. By the time I got through the oil and got off onto the side of the road, I was down.
Oh,
But if it hadn't been for a helmet,
right.
Yeah.
because the back and the side and the front were just all scraped off.
You know, a lot. Even in Texas, we have zero helmet laws, and everybody wants to ride with no helmet, and everybody
I
wants
get it
to say.
gets hot. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. It gets hot, and
But
girls, you
even
get
a
your hair done. It's
even
hot,
even a
sweaty.
slow speed accident, even going through the side streets, you hit something, you hit some leaves. If you hit your head,
Mm-hmm.
even at 5 miles an hour off that thing, you are going to
My
damage something.
fashion is less important.
Right.
I mean, I know you look cool. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. Y'all,
Well-
girls, you're on the back of the bike, got your hair all put in the thing, and you're looking cute in your little boots and stuff. Wear the damn helmet. I
Yeah.
mean, you guys, most of them, you guys are single moms, and you need to get back to your kids.
Well, you can either you can look cute on the back of the bike, and then you can look cute in intensive care with a vent tube in your mouth,
no,
a
no,
neck collar on,
There's that.
bruised eyes.
Been
you
there,
know,
done that.
There's that.
And don't think it can't happen, because it can.
Yeah.
We hope it never does. We hope never.
And it sounds like a stupid comment, but nobody ever plans
No.
for a bad event.
I was watching some YouTube videos a while back, and the Twisted Sisters, and and you see people riding that with shorts.
Oh, and your safety shoes, your flip flops.
Yeah, it's like, dude, as many people say to me, dress for the slide, not the ride, man. Dress for the slide. And that's why you should be having your leathers on. You should have your helmets on, because road rash is no joke. No. Broken bones are no joke.
It's not about the person you're with. You could have the utmost confidence in that person that you're riding with, and they might be able to be able to ride through anything. It's not the person you're riding with, it's the other people that are on the road with you, and that's what you need to plan for. Do not think you're untouchable. Do not think that, I'm only going 5 miles. It doesn't matter. I've lost a lot of people in the club life and stuff. Like, we've lost a lot of people, and they've even been prepared in the gear they were wearing. That
you gotta
actually touches me a little bit. I didn't realize it was going to hit me there.
Yeah, you got to try to protect.
But you have to, prep. It's not about a fashion statement. It's about being out there and being safe. You're going to look cute when you take off the helmet. Do not try to look cute on the bike. It's about being safe on the bike. You are on a 2-wheel machine that has no protection. And you might trust that person, but like I said...
It's like a one-night stand without a condom. Right?
Maybe not.
Or a plan B.
Yeah.
Well, there is no plan B when you crush your head in when you crash. So let's just be safe.
All right. Thank you, Lori from Vegas. I just want to go over a couple of things. Speaking about helmets, Spokes for Hope, a really good foundation, constantly asking for helmets. They give away all these bikes to our first responders to bridge the gap between our law enforcement community and they do not have enough helmets. They had a helmet donation company that had stopped giving helmets. But if you want to donate a helmet, please notify the 99% Radio Network. We will make sure we get that helmet over to Spokes for Hope. Hunting with Soldiers, support a hunt. You can donate to Hunting with Soldiers, and you help our veterans who are going out, who are suffering from some mental issues, PTSD, and so forth. Let them work out their healing issues with Hunting with Soldiers. Go onto their website at huntingwithsoldiers.org and maybe support a hunt. Give them a couple extra bucks and do the right thing. I'm just going to cover a couple of events that are coming up before the Mongol Log. We got our 8th annual Pipes and Pinups at Black and Gold Harley Davidson in Allen, where a couple of our lovely Bettys will be displaying their pinup styles. We want to go out there and support them and root them on. The Thin Blue Line LEMC Trinity Bay chapter is hosting a Texas Bay ride and after party. Check out our website for the details on that. That's going to be on March 1st. Jumping ahead real quick to October, the Celebrity Softball Classic. Yeah, the Celebrity Softball Classic, because this takes a lot of preparation. There's a lot that goes into this, and Tim and all his volunteers and everybody else that works so hard to get all these celebrities together for an amazing,
we got big news coming
amazing
up about
bowl game with all our music stars and athletes, and they put on a great show for all our veterans. And a lot of that money goes back to about 12 different foundations, and it really helps them out. So we want to check them out. Hey, welcome to 99. You're on the air.
Welcome on the 99. You're on the air.
What kind of show is this that's talking about wearing helmets when you're riding a motorcycle? Are you kidding me? I would rather not wear a helmet or maybe an Indian headdress or something when I'm riding my motorcycle, because it's going to look so cool.
Well, who the hell is this? You
don't know who this is? You don't know who this is?
Not by that tone. I'm about to jump out this damn
If you
screen.
can't tell, even Angelo knows who this is. Angelo's already known who this is. That is the most definitive voice across the country, man. Let me welcome to the show the world's greatest and most awesomest biker hypnotist comedian, Gary Michaels. Welcome,
Oh my
Gary.
gosh.
Well, you know, it's funny there.
I didn't realize
Shit
the
show
voice
or
was so-
sideshow. I'm so sorry. I apologize for that. I
Well, Shit Show
apologize. I'm
works,
so
too.
sorry. I'm,
Oh,
I'm
no.
trying to turn I'm trying to turn a different cheek. I got into a fight with a guy the other day. I kicked his ass so hard he had free cheeks on his ass.
You know what? Maybe you should stick to the hypnotism and not the comedy.
Well, can we
There we go.
Can we hypnotize them before we fight them?
Let me tell you something.
Wait, hold on a second.
You were going to.
You just laid down the gauntlet. If you think for 1 minute there, Sideshow, that you're more funny than the world's only biker comedy hypnotist, then, dude, you need to start drinking more.
Oh,
I am
hold
drinking.
On, hold
I am
on,
drinking.
Hold on. I'm going to defend this MFer right now. I'm going to say he is the funniest motherfucker right now because I sit next to him every day. But I love you, and we will have.
You know, I had the.
You know,
honor-
if I sat next to him every day, I would want to pour me a drink.
Well,
of
luckily, I
cyanide.
only have to do it on Wednesdays.
You know, Gary Michaels.
So just for the record, just for the record, there, brother. Just for the record, we had to move from Panama City Beach, and we came back to Georgia to help take care of April's mother.
Yes.
And we are in the most incredible house in the most incredible area that ever. I mean, I feel so comfortable right now, and I've had a couple of drinks, and I decided to check out the show, which I do generally. That you don't know that, John, but I do.
I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that.
I keep tracks on your ass, man.
Thank you.
But nonetheless, I'm sitting here and I'm going, okay, let's just kill the animosity and let me make a quick phone call, and make it more exciting.
Well, I'm excited.
Well, Gary, let me tell you something. Let me just let everybody know because, you know, I had the honor and pleasure of performing with Gary on the High Seas Rally, which was probably one of my best shows ever in comedy. He packed out.
My favorite was when he put
I'm so
Cha-Cha
sorry.
Baby.
I apologize. I'm so sorry. I got something caught in my throat there.
My favorite thing is when he put Cha-Cha Baby. I had my Betty's at one of his events.
Oh, yeah.
And you put Cha-Cha Baby. That's her a pinup name. And he put her in hypnosis.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, she does not remember what happened. And I'm going, oh girl, I got the video.
Let me tell you something. He
If
had
I would have
Billy
known that
Bull.
was her name, if I would have known that was her name, I would have given her the cha-cha.
Cha-Cha Baby.
He had Billy Bull. He had Billy Bull so under over at when he performed here in Texas. He had Billy Bull so under, and the best ever was Anthony Oliver, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, big deuce, big guy.
Big dude.
I mean, he was blowing like a chicken, boy. Oh my
Wait,
God.
Is that the guy that was dancing with a mop?
Yes. You had him. Let me tell you
Oh, my
something.
gosh.
Oh man, you know, and for
I'm not gonna lie, like I have never been to a hypnosis thing in my life ever until I went to yours at the VFW that we had, and that's when you got Cha-Cha Baby because you did the whole thing in the crowd where everybody you're like saying everybody put your head down, close your eyes, and you said something, and you know we're gonna walk around and do this, and for some reason it didn't hit me, but then I open my eyes and I go back to my table and my girl Cha-Cha Baby, she's in it.
Yeah.
And I'm going, no way. And I see her and like she did the whole things and I'm going, this is legit, dude.
Well,
like for real. Because
Gary, explain that real quick, Gary, real quick, because you know that is the skepticism with hypnosis. Some people go into it, some people just block it, but some people who let themselves go and they let themselves feel it really get into the hypnosis, right, Gary? How's that work?
Let me get technical with you. Before I do that, the only reason I called in the first place is I wanted to thank Patricia. Well, I wanted to thank you. You posted something a couple of years ago after our show there in Texas, and it was the most well-worded, extremely eloquent compliment I've ever gotten ever. And I appreciate that. I want you to know I should have done it sooner, but I use it to help me get gigs. And I wanted to say thank you. I thought now was the time for me to personally say thank you for what you said and for posting that. I appreciate it more than you know. Okay.
So you're making her cry, bro.
Well, I know. I can't see you, so I don't know. And that was when I tuned into the show, and I'm like, yeah, I think now is maybe the time. I've had a couple of drinks. I feel pretty good right now. So anyhow,
I appreciate that immensely. And
but I want to say thank you for saying those kind words. I appreciate it more than you know. Now, John.
With that said.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you're hypnotizing people, it's called the induction. You induce hypnosis. Okay. There's 1.4% of the population that can never be hypnotized, but on the other side of the spectrum, there's 1.4% of the population that are called somnambulistic. Your friend, I've already forgotten her name, Cha-Cha, she was somnamblistic. John, what's the girl's name? Bobby?
Oh, yeah, Billy Ball. Billy,
yeah. Billy was an exceptional subject. She is a person that can go under hypnosis very quickly, meaning she has an incredible mind. She has a powerful, powerful brain that she doesn't even know that she has, that can concentrate and focus impeccably. Okay. There are certain people that you would look at and go, okay, you kind of special needs, but they can go under hypnosis very quickly because they don't understand the knowledge or the capabilities of their brain. Okay. So when I'm doing the induction, I'm looking for those particular people that go under hypnosis very quickly, very easily, and that can follow suggestion to make them do some pretty stupid shit. And John, you know as well as I do, they do some pretty stupid shit. Although most people do stupid shit, they just don't need my help.
Well, to tell you how good Gary is and the powers of his hypnosis, Billy Ball at one of our events was just a vendor. She wasn't part of the audience. She wasn't part of any part of the hypnosis aspect. She was sitting at her booth. And all of a sudden we looked at her and she was out, man. And Gary was just like, bingo, we got somebody. And, all she was doing was listening. And it was, almost scares the shit out of you because you're like, oh my God, he put a vendor out, and she was, she was just sitting at a booth, and all of a sudden she was just like, the next thing you knew, she was like, she was in a total trance, and
what's funny? What's funny about that is people come to me, and you've heard this, John, many times, even on the cruise. People walk up to me, don't look me in the eye. Don't look me in the eye. I don't want you to look me in the eye. You're going to make me do some stupid shit. Here's the thing. You don't need to look me in the eye. No. All you got to do is listen to the voice.
See, I'm not. Change the volume. I'm scared. I'm getting hypnosis right now. Like this whole Barry White voice that's coming over and telling me
you don't know if it's Gary or it's the IPA.
You're gonna do this if you like it or not.
Make her take off her shirt, Gary. Make her take off her shirt.
Yeah, check this out. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm one step ahead of you.
This whole thing intrigues
Listen to my voice, Patricia. Listen to my voice. I want you to focus and concentrate. I can't see you right now, so you probably got your fingers stuck in the ears or hiding under the table or something. I don't know. But Patricia's like, hell no, this ain't happening right now.
Hey, Gary, I don't mean to cut you short, but I got to bring Mongo on from California. He's waiting to go.
Absolutely. I just wanted to call and say hello. And the reason for the call is I wanted to thank Patricia a couple of years later. I apologize it took so long. But I wanted to thank you for the kind words that you said, and I use them every day, and I appreciate it more than you know.
And Gary, where can people check you out in the next couple of weeks? Upcoming events.
Oh, it's simple. A couple of weeks. I'm going to be in Loganville, Georgia, on February the 15th at a place called Atmosphere Atlanta. Doing a show there, our first time. Looking forward to it. Gosh, dude, I've got so much shit going on. I have no clue where we're going. But go to my website, GaryMichaels.net, You can find me on all of the socials. Just look up Gary Michaels Hypnotist. If you see us on OnlyFans, mind your business, because I need the money. But it's very easy to find, and hopefully we'll be back in the Dallas-Fort Worth area in this year or next year or something, and you guys can come and enjoy a show. We would love to have you.
Hey, well, you know, we got an event coming up for the the Dallas 9/11 stair climb. Maybe we can combine it with some comedy show. We can bring you in. We'll talk about it.
I'm in.
All right, brother.
Whatever pays the bills, I'm in.
All right, brother. Thank you very much.
You guys rock on. It's a pleasure to talk with you both. John, I hope it made you feel a little bit better.
It definitely did, brother.
But Patricia, thank you again. And I forget the guy that's sitting next to you,
Jim.
your guest,
Jim.
but thank you for what you do.
No, thank you.
All right, brother.
All right, we'll talk soon. Rock on.
All right, rock on, brother. That was Gary Michaels, the world's only biker comedy hypnotist. You can catch him all over the coast, man. From coast to coast, man. He is everywhere. He's everywhere. What a great show. If he's in your town, if he's close to you, make sure you go check him out. We are going to bring up Mongo from California with the Mongo Log. Is he on? He's sitting pretty? He's all ready to go? All right.
Mongo! Santa Maria! Never mind that shit. Here comes Mongo!
Hey, everybody, what's going on? Hopefully this week we're going to actually work this thing out and it's not going to cut off. But so here we go. I'll just get right into it. Unfortunately, you know, the way the news cycles work, you start thinking about writing something one day and 2 days later, that's old news. Because last week after the plane crash in D.C., I wrote a monologue regarding that crash to a degree, but mostly about the air traffic control problem. So here we go. It's a week old, but it is. An American Airlines passenger jet from Wichita en route to Washington, D.C., and a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter collided midair near Reagan National Airport this past Wednesday night at 8:47 p.m. The crash site is in a complex airspace with multiple airports, heliports, and military facilities in the area, raising concerns about safety and air traffic control. The incident remains under investigation. Experts, as well as enthusiastic news media, point to potential factors like pilot error, complacency, and lower nighttime staffing levels in air traffic controllers. Before I go any further, I just want to say, shit. I didn't want to say shit, but I said it anyway. I'm not passing judgment or determining any fault this early into the investigation. The news media will have all the various opinions, and through their stories will mold public opinion as to what happened. What truly happened may take up to a year to determine, and even then we may not actually know the true cause of this disaster and loss of life. Staffing levels were not normal inside Reagan National Airport Control Tower at the time of the collision. When the mishap occurred, there was a single controller that was dedicated to managing both the helicopter and the inbound commercial airliner, while he used multiple radio frequencies to communicate with the aircraft. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, was once a paragon of precision, demanding the highest levels of skill and competence from those responsible for guiding thousands of aircraft daily through America's airspace. Air traffic controllers were selected through rigorous training programs, ensuring that only the best and brightest sat at the helm of the nation's skies. However, beginning in the Obama era and accelerating under Biden, a seismic shift occurred. Excellence was abandoned in favor of diversity, equity, and inclusion mandates. I'm not absolving our current president of any fault because those standards did not change during his first term. It was said that a diverse workforce makes air traffic controllers more innovative, stronger, and safer as an agency. Bradley Mims, the former FAA deputy administrator, encouraged all people to apply so that the agency could become diverse while achieving its goal of safe air travel. He claimed that having individuals with diverse backgrounds would help us to find ways to continue enhancing aviation safety and efficiency. The consequences of this shift are now coming home to roost. A decade of race-conscious hiring practices prioritizing identity over expertise has introduced a growing safety crisis in aviation. Near-miss incidents have surged, major airports have become the site of harrowing close calls, and controllers lacking the rigorous backgrounds once demanded. Those controllers are increasingly struggling under the pressure of this job. What began as a social experiment has now turned into a public safety hazard, and there is no indication that the turbulence will subside anytime soon. In 2014, the FAA open-ended their hiring practices. The ATSAT, the Air Traffic Controller Test, was sidelined and a biogeographical questionnaire replaced it. The goal was explicit: to increase demographic representation at the expense of skill. Over 3,000 highly qualified collegiate-trained graduates, they call them CTIs, many of whom had already demonstrated superior aptitude, were summarily dismissed in favor of candidates who better aligned with the racial and gender quotas. Since these changes have occurred, reports of runway incursions, aborted takeoffs, near mid-air collisions have risen at an alarming rate. In the year 2024, a record-breaking 1,100 runway near-miss incidents, many of which are attributed to controller errors, took place. The following are but just 3 examples of these incidents. September of 2024, an Alaska Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 9 was forced to abort takeoff in Nashville to avoid colliding with a Southwest Airlines 737 that was mistakenly cleared to cross the active runway. In 2024, a Delta Airlines Airbus A350-9 collided with an Endeavor Air CRJ 900 at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport, resulting in millions of dollars in damage. In December 2024, a Delta jet at LAX nearly struck a private aircraft due to a controller's miscommunication, nearly avoiding a tragic disaster. A growing assembly of underqualified controllers had been fast-tracked into roles they are ill-equipped to handle. They are increasingly making costly and dangerous errors. Air traffic controllers are badly understaffed and overworked. 77% of air traffic controllers are understaffed, and it's common for controllers to have mandatory overtime, 10-hour shifts, and 6-day work weeks. Controllers are made to man multiple frequencies at once, and they often don't have the bandwidth to monitor runways as efficiently as one would expect or hope. Aircraft flight paths should be supervised by the best employees. President Trump has signed a presidential memorandum terminating a Biden administration FAA hiring policy prioritizing diversity, equity, and inclusion over safety and efficiency. Every day, more than 45,000 flights and 2.9 million airline passengers are traveling for work or fun, visiting friends and family while entrusting their lives to the FAA. Unbelievably, diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives under Biden, the FAA specifically recruited and hired individuals with severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric issues, and even complete paralysis over more qualified individuals who sought to work for the FAA as air traffic controllers. The FAA's past commitment to DEI ideology is a high-stakes game of Russian roulette with American air safety. While woke bureaucrats may see equity-driven hiring as a normal pursuit, reality tells us a different story. Air traffic control is not a diversity seminar. It's a high-stakes, unforgiving environment where split-second decisions mean the difference between safe landings and mass casualties. The FAA's embrace of race-based hiring has fundamentally undermined the confidence of the nation's air traffic controllers, leading to an alarming uptick in operational errors. This is not a theoretical problem. It is a clear and present danger to public safety. Being an air traffic controller is not only an important career, but it can also be an interesting and dynamic career. Air travelers and the public rely on these safety professionals to oversee thousands of aircraft that travel into our national and international airspace every day. Additionally, air traffic control becomes more exciting every day as innovative uses for our airspace, such as drones and commercial space vehicles, become even more prevalent. I don't know about you, but I feel good knowing that as the airspace becomes more crowded and less controlled because of the declining number of experienced air traffic controllers, at least the air traffic controllers that are there are a more diverse group. I can fly America's commercial airlines with confidence knowing that any mishaps that may occur will not be blamed on a diversity hired, inexperienced, or overwhelmed air traffic controller, but instead and more likely on a 55-year-old white male pilot with over 300 successful nighttime carrier landings following actual combat missions while serving in the military. Elon Musk, a critic of Biden's policies like diversity hiring and airline pilots and air traffic controllers, is not a fan of lowered standards for underrepresented groups. Unfortunately, federal regulations for pilot qualifications, fortunately, federal regulations for pilot qualifications remain as strict as they ever been. And even with diversity training programs, pilot qualifications are still bound by more strict regulations. To his credit, in his recent inaugural address, President Trump promised we will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. And that, my friends, is that. Whiskey improves with age, and I improve with whiskey. My name is Mongo. Whiskey goes in, wisdom comes out. I smoke cigars and I know things. Mongo is out, and back to you in the studio.
Hey, welcome back to the 99. That was a Mongo log. Hey, Mongo, what you were talking about is so true. Yeah, it brings me back to the 1990, late 90 movie Pushin' Tin with John Cusack, Billy Bob Thornton. You remember that movie?
No.
Yep.
Oh, you were-
I lost no hearing.
Hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't.
All right. Well, that brings me back to Pushing Tin, man, with John Cusack and Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie back in the late 90s. How stressful air traffic controllers are. It's a stressful job. We have, Mongo, we have Jim with the Fort Worth Aviation Museum with us here today. And too, right? I mean,
I'm a retired airline pilot.
Oh my God.
Yes, he is.
So,
he knows the stress.
Yeah.
You know how stressful that is, right?
Yeah.
So the things that Mongo was saying, do they hold true?
Pretty much so. I mean, I haven't flown an airliner in a few years now, but I still fly. And yes, it's got to be about ability.
Yeah,
it has to be. Especially, I've been in and out of National Airport hundreds of times, and that's one of the busiest airports that you can travel into.
I mean, as a pilot, you can tell experience from inexperience, confident from non-confident people on the radio, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And how does that feel when someone comes up and you just
want to tell them
they're not
no.
They're not confident in their abilities, or they're you're like, listen, I've been doing this, I know how to land this plane, and they just don't feel confident. That puts you at a disadvantage.
It does. I mean, there could be books written about airline conversations you've
heard
heard over the air that nobody's heard about. But you do. I mean, when you're coming and going out of an airport, you've got to be on your game, 100% on your game. And when you're not, or somebody else isn't, that's when things can go bad and they can go sideways real fast.
Well, I hope you guys I was on the 54-year-old white pilot with the military experience, because obviously that's the guy you want flying the plane, but apparently that's not the guy that they want flying the plane, because they want it to be diverse. I don't want diversity. I want experience and safety.
It doesn't matter what
I don't
color your
care.
skin is, what nationality you're with, how you even choose, what
If
even
you
gender.
can
I don't give a
do-
shit. Listen, if you're a man and you dress in a dress and you want to be
And you're
called
a sharpshooter,
and you
fuck,
want
I'm hiring
right,
you.
and you want to be called Betty, but you can fly that plane with expertise, I don't care.
Old Black Betty, fly my
Yeah,
plane.
hell yeah, it's
I
not,
really
You got-
always read that my wife Rocky is actually in Nashville waiting for her next flight to connect to Florida right now. And as I was reading it, I was like, oh, great. That's probably not a good thing to be talking about right now, but
I have to say something though about that. I was in the cockpit when they started to bring women started to fly with the airlines, and I can tell you that the most of the women that I flew with were better than the men.
Yeah.
Because they had to. They were in a fishbowl.
And they're more
everything that they did.
detail-oriented, much
It
so
wasn't
that.
even. It wasn't even that. It was that they knew that everything that they did was going to be second guessed.
Well, in a
And where
way,
a lot
like-
of the guys would get complacent, the women never were.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
would
I
it be
can see
like
that.
in a way like the women felt like they had to prove themselves also, like
Every day.
Yeah,
Yeah. Every
we had
day.
to show like not that we had to show them because the skills were there. It
Right.
was just showing them that they were there.
But it was coming into an arena where it was not common for them to be there, and so they had to be on their game. They were under a microscope with everything they did,
Right.
and most of the time I would have preferred flying with them with some of the guys who were being complacent.
You know, truthfully, I feel the same way. I've gone on a number of flights, and you know, when you walk onto the plane, and I've seen female pilots, and they, you know how they welcome you on board, and you do get a feel of more comfort because, you know, for that very fact that they are going to prove themselves, they are going to do their best in the ability to make sure they get you
Yep.
there safely.
Well, and in the rules that Mongo was mentioning before, you know, if it wasn't for the requirement for so many hours of flight time and age and things like that, most airliners would be flown by 12-year-olds.
Oh, and you know what? The way the day's going, the way they can fly drones, you never know. I mean,
Can
the
I
way
tell
my
you-
9-year-old.
Can I tell you a really quick little story? I was
Absolutely.
one of the early pilots to fly the 787 with Continental Airlines, United Airlines. And so I was on a training flight, and we went out to San Francisco, and every time we'd land, there'd be a bunch of people lined up to come up to the cockpit to see what the 787 was like. And so there were three of us on one of our initial line operation trainings mission. So this grandfather and this kid, maybe 12, shows up, and he said, "Can I sit in your seat?" And I said, "Yeah, go ahead and sit in my seat." And so we're talking to the grandfather, and pretty soon I see the kid starting to manipulate stuff. And I went, "Whoa, wait a minute, what are you doing over there?" And he said, "Well, I know this airplane." And I said, "You do?" I said, "Well, what's this?" And I gave him a little quiz, you know, and he knew everything. I said, "How is it that you know so much about this airplane?" And he says, "Because I've got 400 hours on Flight Simulator with this," to which the three of us who were actually flying the airplane cracked up because between the three of us, we didn't have 75 hours.
Oh, wow.
My God. Well, that's scary. That the kid has more flight time on a simulator.
In that airplane, all of us had tens of thousands of hours, but it was in that airplane. So.
Well, you know, and that's the big thing, man. And I wish we had more time to get into this. But Mongo, great Mongo log. Thank you so
Yes.
much. I do appreciate it. You can go back to your smoke and your stick and your whiskey.
And he knows things.
And you know things, brother.
Have a good.
And Rocky, safe trip. All right, brother. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mongo.
All right, man. We are about to wrap up. I want to thank you, Jim.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Same here, man. Hops for Props on April 26th over at the Fort Worth Aviation Museum. Come on down. You know what? We're cracking beers at 12. We're closing beers at 5. Bring the family. Bring everybody you have. Come on down and enjoy a wonderful day of aviation, craft beers, and just fun.
Well, while we're down there and we're set up at the Hops and Props, we are going to do interviews. So if you have something to talk about, we are going to be set up. We want to hear about anything you got going on. We want to make this big event for you.
Appreciate
Like,
that.
this is
We'll be glad
10
to have you
years
there.
Going, 10 years of Hops and Props has been going on. And I've only known about it the past 3 years, and it has grown every year and better every year.
It is. It is.
And I'm not just saying this to boost it. It is my favorite beer festival of the year.
Thank you.
And just the
really
two
is.
beers we've chased here today, out of this world.
Well, all of them are out of this world.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you're going to go to this place and you're going to be engulfed not only in the beer and the craft beer world of all the local DFW beers. You're going to be around all the warbirds. You're going to be in history. You've got reenactors. You've got all these things going on. When else can you be in a beer festival that you have history with it? I mean, that is the thing for me.
We've got something for everybody.
Yes. Yep. Check it out. I'm going to post it on our page, not only the Battling Betties, but the 99. Check out this event. Donate. Support. I mean, this is a great event.
All right.
Cheers, y'all.
Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. We will see you on April 26th at Hobbs and Props. We're going to start wrapping it up. So
tune in next week. We got Gilbert Cushions. I'm going to say that wrong. Is it Cushions?
No, Cushions.
Cushions. Actor, Monter. He was in The Chosen.
The Chosen, yes.
So check in next week. He's going to be on. If you haven't checked out that episode or that series, you got to look it up. The Chosen. It is a very well put series about
Jesus,
about the Bible and Jesus. It's a really good season. I mean, it's not like where you feel like you're getting like taught. You are experiencing like a scenario, and it's like any other drama series that you want to watch.
They say it's in 400 different languages now.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
He's been on the show a few times,
Yeah.
and we have another actor that's in the show as well, right?
Jeffrey Gray.
Yes.
Jeffrey Gray.
They are both in there. That is one of the shows I am putting on. It's on my list after I get done with my
murder mystery.
I gotta watch my murder mysteries. But no, I'm all excited. These guys, and not only do they get into the public and do what they do, they also get behind the scenes and give back to the community as well.
Yep. All right, and to all listeners, organizations, foundations, supporting and giving back to our communities, because when the rubber meets the road, together we can definitely make a difference. So,
here's my cue.
Here's your cue. We're getting it. We're getting the timing right.
And if you can be
right there. No. You're still up here, man.
Be sure to check out our website and upcoming events. Yes, I am posting everything that people come on. We want to post them on our events. If you have an event coming up, please get in contact with us. We want to put your events on our page. We want to spread the love. Contact us. We want to have you guys on the show and even talk about things.
Yep. I want to thank Cutter from Invictus for dropping off the socks. I want to thank Gary Michaels, the one and only comedy hypnotist.
He hypnotized me.
Yeah. Check him out. And if you like our show, check it out on OBBM Network. Right after this, for Eastern Standard Time, check out Motorcycle Mayhem with Johnny Rizzo and his team. Laughter Saves Live with John LaRocchi and Rich Walker. Always a great thing supporting our heroes out there. And LifeVac, man. LifeVac, the anti-choking device that has saved over 3,400 lives. Check out their show. It's called A Man in the Arena. That's Arthur Lee, the inventor, and Rick. They put on an amazing show. Check those guys out. You know what? Screw regular TV. This is where the rubber meets the road. And if you could be anything in this world,
go
be
Chiefs.
kind. Go Chiefs. Peace.
Bye.
I'm going to see which one Anne's like.